Ladies and gentlemen, lots popping off. Lots of Chelsea news popping off the back of that match against Copenhagen. We're not going to go through every single bit of news. We're going to keep some of the news for a different segment. But in this particular segment, ladies and gentlemen, two big news, two important topics that we need to talk about. One in regards to Kobbie Mainoo and one in regards to Reece James. Apparently, he's touted as a midfielder. Yeah, there's lots to talk about. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the other side of the coin and welcome to your latest Chelsea news that's floating about. You can see Kobbie Mainoo's picture. You might be thinking, what's going on again? Why are we talking about Kobbie Mainoo again? Well, the reason why we're talking about Kobbie Mainoo is apparently our club, our owners, our directors, they're still keeping tabs on this particular brother. Now, why are they keeping tabs, ladies and gentlemen? Why? Now, before we answer why, let's go back to what happened earlier in January window. This was a tweet from David Ornstein in the January window, and it goes something like this: Manchester United will reluctantly consider sale of homegrown talents like Kobbie Mainoo plus Alejandro Garnacho to help comply with financial rules. Not actively looking to trade pair, but neither untouchable if suitable offers arrive. So, you guys remember we were linked with Kobbie Mainoo in the January window, and we were heavily linked with Alejandro Garnacho. Now, don't be one bit surprised if both of these links appear again in the summer window. Now, the latest in regards to Kobbie Mainoo goes something like this. Kobbie Mainoo is planning to reject the offer of a new contract at Man United and seek a move abroad. So they talk about abroad here. So why is Chelsea getting involved? United would be open to selling Mainoo, who is valued at about 70 million, but still believe he could agree to improve terms. Further goes on to say, Kobbie Mainoo would only entertain a move to Chelsea if they offer him a higher salary than Cole Palmer, according to reports coming from Court Offside. And this one's from Patty, who, honestly, I have to say, he does get a lot of things right. Atletico Madrid have contacted Kirkes. Bournemouth might sell. Chelsea currently not interested, keeping tabs on Mainoo. Lavia, Fofana training well. Now, let's talk about this Mainoo situation. First of all, getting more salary than Cole Palmer, that's ridiculous. Cole Palmer, look, I don't even want to bring up the Cole Palmer situation right now because a large part of the fan base don't seem to appreciate Cole Palmer right now. And I have to say, to a certain degree, yeah, maybe rightly so. Me personally, I'm not in that boat yet because I feel like he's got a lot more credit in the bank. He's going through a bad patch. We know what a talented footballer he is. He's shown it at the highest level, not just at Chelsea, but for England as well. But we can all understand and appreciate the fact that he has been going through a bad form. I think he's around 140,000 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section how much he's on. But I don't think he's at 150,000. He must be somewhere around the 100 to 140,000 mark in that region. For Kobbie Mainoo to say that he's only going to come to Chelsea if he gets more than Cole Palmer, that's ridiculous. Kobbie Mainoo is a player, honestly speaking, we don't need. We don't need a Chelsea Football Club. And if we end up getting someone like him, and I get it, I understand why the owners and the directors are after him. Young, English as well. Potentially you can get him for less salary, but looks like that's not what Kobbie Mainoo wants. But the biggest factor here is young. We love young players that can potentially grow into 100 million player, 200 million player down the track. Yeah, it could possibly happen. Long-term contracts, it could possibly happen, which would be great news. That would mean that they're doing well. But our football club loves the young profile, and it will further put question marks on Andre Santos. What's his future at Chelsea Football Club? We don't need Kobbie Mainoo. There's no need for it. Kobbie Mainoo right now can't even fit the Man United mold. He can't seem to fit under Ruben Amorim. He's a talented player, but we've got Enzo Fernandez, we've got Caicedo. Romeo Lavia keeps getting injured, no problems, yeah, but he's still a talented midfielder. And we've got Andre Santos to arrive. There's still Ugochukwu, and we've got Matisse Omogo. There's no need for this. But not for a second, ladies and gentlemen, think that our board will not entertain this. They will, because it's all about opportunities. It's all about finding that opportunity. So for me, look, this, please don't do this. I'm dreading. I'm a fan that is so disgruntled about everything that is happening with the club right now. Next season, we need to be serious. 3 seasons in the bin. We'll see what happens for the remainder of this season. We'll see. I don't know. I don't think we're going to make it to Champions League, but hopefully I'm proven wrong. But even if we do make it to Champions League, we need to have a squad that is capable of playing in the Champions League. Don't do this. Please start building a squad that is adequate for competing at the highest level. Don't bring in unnecessary players that's just going to create more problems for us. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. For me, look, Kobbie Mainoo, talented player, not necessary. I think in terms of physicality of the league as well, probably lacks in that department. That's something I'm pretty sure. He's a young kid, so he'll develop, he'll adapt. Maybe his agent's doing this to get that best deal with Man United, but don't be surprised if Man United end up selling him, because Man United financially, as you can see, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, the Ineos mob, they're cleaning up shop. They're sacking a lot of people, making people redundant. They could potentially get rid of pure profit players like Kobbie Mainoo, like Alejandro Garnacho. And then players like Kobbie Mainoo will need to find a home. And I'm not really sure entirely whether they would like to go abroad, even though the news is saying, yeah, they'd like to go abroad. But I'm not so certain. At a young age, they'd want to do that. So let's see. Let's see what happens. Let me know your thoughts. Knowing our board, yeah, I'm concerned. I'm scared. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Now, next up, Reece James. This one's a funny one. This one's a controversial one. And I want to explore both sides of the coin on this one. This one, Maresca said straight after the Copenhagen win, I see Reece as a midfielder since day one. Since day one. Further goes on to say, I sent Reece a clip when he was on holiday about how he can be a midfielder. He has played in fullback, central defender, so the main target for us is to keep him fit. When you watch a player, you sometimes need to use imagination and imagine a player doing something. I watched some of his games when he was on loan at Wigan, where he scored a fantastic goal from 25, 30 meters out. The best thing about Reece at that moment is he's helping the team with leadership. Now, look, Reece James produced a fantastic shot against Copenhagen. We've seen him take long-range shots from range. I believe it was against Brighton as well a few seasons back, where he scored a thunderbolt. Look, before we get to that final tweet, let's talk a little bit about Reece James. Reece James, first of all, ladies and gentlemen, I've seen some wild tweets about not just Reece James, but the entire team and many different individual players off the back of that game against Copenhagen. We can't take Copenhagen as a benchmark. Nothing wrong with Copenhagen. I thought they played fairly decently, but they lacked the quality up front. This is not the level. Copenhagen, every day of the week, we should be the favorite. We should be beating them, regardless of how our form is, regardless of how we've been, performing for the entire season. We should be beating Copenhagen. So we shouldn't take Copenhagen as a game to give us verdicts. Now, Reece James, off the back of the Copenhagen win, Maresca coming out and saying, yeah, he's always seen him as a midfielder. He wants to play. I don't know if we should base Copenhagen as a benchmark to say, yeah, now Reece James can play midfield. We know Reece James can play midfield. We've seen him. Some of us have even said that maybe as a defensive midfielder, Reece James can do that because of his injury issues that he has. Maybe being a fullback running up and down is probably not the best case scenario for his body. We all have said that. We've entertained that. But many people have also said, look, midfield is quite brutal as well. You've got to cover the ground laterally. You've got to put in those challenges. You've got to win those, duels, and that could potentially get him injured. I want to see Reece James. If Maresca truly believes in Reece James in midfield, I want to see Reece James in midfield in bigger matches. I want to see him play midfield against Arsenal, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. I want to see him play Reece James in midfield against Liverpool and the likes. Then only I can sit here and say, yeah, you know what? Maybe there's something there. Right now, Copenhagen, you'll get away with. Play against the bigger boys. Let's see what happens when teams actually press with intensity, a lot more intensity than Copenhagen. When teams actually compete for the jewels. We'll see what happens against Newcastle when we play them in a few weeks' time as well. Nottingham Forest. That's when I'll get to know, okay, is Reece James capable? Physically, there's still a big question mark. Is he over all his injuries? Reece James, ladies and gentlemen, can be a fantastic player. We've seen it. And we need him because he's our captain. We need the leader to be there in the field to help, motivate everyone else, be that leader and drive everyone, show everyone the way. We want that. But to say that, he's a midfielder now and that Maresca always saw him as a midfielder, need to see him against the best teams. And this further will cause more chaos down the track. One, Kobbie Mainoo. I mean, why are we getting more midfielders when we're starting to think Reece James is a midfielder? What's going to happen to Andre Santos and so on and so forth? What's going to happen when Romeo Lavia comes back from injury? Reece James continue as a midfielder? As I said, I think there are attributes. I'm not going to deny the fact that Reece James cannot be a midfielder. I think he can be a midfielder, but let's judge him once he plays against the bigger teams. Now, few people are also saying, well, Rahman Osman, who's a journalist, he said, you know why he sent him the video? It's because he doesn't play with fullbacks. And he knew he had to play Reece because he's the captain. So he had to condition his mind. So there are a few people that are sort of saying, look, there's a reason why he wants to play him in midfield, because he don't play with fullbacks. And Reece James, the best version of Reece James, we have to admit, is the version that plays right back. If we could erase all the injury history of Reece James and then ask each and every single one of us fans, where would you like to see Reece James play? I think most of us will say fullback, because Reece James as a fullback, wing back, devastating. Those crosses, devastating. Getting into the box at the edge of it and taking shots, scoring, devastating. That's where he is at his best. Not saying that midfield he can't do the job, but fullback is his best. So this from Rahman Osman is trying to indicate that, Mr. Maresca, you only did this because you don't play fullbacks and you need to accommodate the captain. And you need to set his mind up properly. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts. I just think that it's a little bit controversial to all of a sudden come out and say that Reece James is a midfielder off the back of that match against Copenhagen. Tell me he's a midfielder once you actually put him up against proper quality team. I want to see Reece James being tested against the best of the best before we can honestly say, yeah, all right, he's definitely a midfielder, because his body needs to be tested in order for us to wholeheartedly say he's a midfielder. Ladies and gentlemen, let me know your thoughts in the comment section about both Mainoo and Reece James as well. Hope you guys have enjoyed this. Smash the like button if you're here for the first time. Subscribe. Hit the bell notification to stay in touch with all my content. Until next time, everyone. Take care. See ya. Goodbye.